Historical Ardra. My name is Pawan, and in this video I am going to tell you about all of the zodiac signs. In brief, explaining everything in detail, the mystical connection, the occult essence of all of these signs, the elements, the behavioral patterns that you develop if you are one of these signs, okay, the nature basically. So understand that there are 12 signs, okay, from Aries to the Pisces, 12 houses designated only in respect to these signs, okay. As Aries is your first house, Taurus becomes your second, okay. Just like that, if you go to the sequence, you will find that there are 12 signs, 12 houses, and each of the house represents and each of the house controls a specific part of your life throughout your life, since you were born until you are going to die, okay. And in that there is not just the physical growth, the physical life. There is emotional maturity, emotional life that you are leading right now. The spiritual life is also there. The life that you are not aware of, that is the karmic life. That karmic life that has been resumed in this life, from the past births. That is also there. So these 12 houses are not just your, let's say, this birth and your death, or maybe your career, your marriage. There is much more to that. So let's start. The first one is Aries, okay. The sign Aries. Aries becomes the Lagna. What is Lagna? What is ascendant? Ascendant is where something is rising. Just like sun rises in the east every morning, okay. Sun rises, that is the Lagna of sun. What is the Lagna of sun? The horizon. The horizon where if you look at the horizon, if you look far away where the sun is rising, from where the sun is rising, it will seem to you that the sky and the earth are meeting at that infinite point. But in reality, there is no such place as like sky and earth meeting, okay. That is an illusion, but that we call a horizon. And the more beautiful term that we are going to use is Lagna, where two bodies meet, where two energies meet, and the product, the creation that happens, okay, it is you. Your mother and your father met, you were created, right? And the moment that you were born, that moment that you were brought up in this world, the date, the time, the place, these three things will determine what kind of life that you are going to have in this birth. What kind of spiritual growth, what kind of emotional growth, what kind of karmic things that you are going to face in this life, okay. It's not destiny, it's not fate. Don't think of this like, okay, your destiny has already been written. It's like you are carrying this energy, you are carrying this map. The map is already there. The map is astrological chart that you use, okay. That is a map. That is not a certificate for your destiny or fate. That is a map. The map to tell you that what kind of energies that you are carrying from the last birth. And not just the last birth. There is, let's say, there are many things to consider, but we will stick to the topic first. So just like that, the Lagna becomes your Aries, okay. The first sign, Aries, Aries, whatever you want to call it. That Aries is the place where you are decided that who you are. Your personality, your identity, Your body, that is of 5 elements, made up of 5 elements, that is the first house. Your mindset, you can say, your behavior towards others, towards yourself, towards every nature, every kind of nature that you have around you. This is first house. Your ego that you identify yourself with. Okay, you call yourself, let's say, if you're saying that you are this, you are assigning yourself something by some name, by some title. That is first house. Okay, that's why sun, the planet sun, it gets exalted in the first house, in the sign of Aries, because sun is the identity of your soul. Sun represents the masculine energy, the Pingala. What's Pingala? This is something spiritual, and if you're here knowing that Oracle Ardra, okay, I talk spiritual. So Pingala is the masculine energy, let's say masculine side, that is sun, identity. Okay, so sun gets exalted in the sign of Aries, in the first house, because it gets its directional strength, sort of. Okay, because your Lagna, your ascendant will always be in this east direction, the place that you are being born. Okay, from there, in the east direction, what sign was present, what sign was present in the Lagna, what sign was present in the horizon, what nakshatra was present in that Lagna and horizon, that has determined what ascendant you will carry, what kind of energy that you will be carrying in this birth, right? So in this direction of east, that's why sun gets exalted in the first house, that is Aries, wherever your Aries is. Okay, it might be in different houses, it might be with different planets, but the energy of Aries will always be there in the first house. That's why it is called first house. Even if you have, let's say, ascendant Gemini, okay, even if you have ascendant, let's say, Libra or any other sign, that will be your first house. That is the, let's say, blueprint of that energy. Blueprint of Aries is in the first house. Okay, you might get a different sign as ascendant, but the energy of first house is the blueprint of Aries. Okay, Aries is ruled by Mars. Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. Now tell me, what better planet to rule the first house, to rule the first zodiac sign other than Mars? The planet of energy. Okay, the planet of, let's say, courage. Okay, bravery. The planet which gives you the energy to fight, the energy to wake up in the morning. Your blood, you can say that, right? The place you were born in, the land, the desh यानी कि जहाँ पे आपका जन्म हुआ, the land, that is Mars. Your blood, the family that you are born into, the generational karma, trauma, ancestral blessings, punya, pap, everything that you will be carrying into your blood. Aries has, let's say, the element of fire. Okay, what better element other than the fire itself to be placed in the first house where you are getting born, where a soul is getting incarnated as a human being or any other species? Okay, when you die, you turn into ashes, and when you are born, when you are getting born, you are taking your birth, okay, by the energy of Mars, by the energy of fire. If we have to go to that far, then you must know that when the male and female mate, okay, as in humans, let's say, before the formation of the zygote, there is a fission of both of the cells. That fission, let's say, produces some kind of nuclear energy. If you're a science student, if you're a biology student, then you must know this. That nuclear energy is the fire. So as I was saying that Aries is the fire element, Mars is also the fire element. Both together they create this whole transformational energy, transmutational energy, beautiful energy. So let's move to the Taurus sign. Okay, Taurus carries the element of earth. Taurus comes into the second house. What is Taurus? Stability, comfort, resources. The most important one is resources. It is what you are acquiring in your mind, through your mouth, what you are taking inside of you. If you are listening to me right now, and if you are acquiring knowledge through my words, through my expressions, that will depend upon your second house, how much of knowledge that you are able to gather. Even if I'm speaking, let's say 1%, some of you are able to extract 10% from that 2%, yeah, 1%. But some of you are not able to even extract 0.01%. Which house decides that? That is second house, not the fifth house. Fifth house can also decide that, yeah, true. But first comes the second house, then the fifth house. Fifth house is of learning. So yes, fifth house will decide what kind of knowledge that you will get from the guru, from any mentor, from any teacher. Okay, but second house comes before that. Now who are your first teacher when you are a baby? Let's say when you're just a baby, you have just born, and you have parents beside you. Your parents become your teacher, your guru. And in both of the parents, the mother is your first guru, because from the mother you learn the art of love, care. Even if you're just a little baby, okay, you're crying and she is giving you food, you develop a sense of relief, a comfort. Fourth house, you're crying and she is giving you food and you are getting relief, you stop crying. Fourth house, comfort, the attachment from the mother to the mother, towards the mother, that heart to heart connection. Just like that, second house is your mouth. How do you connect to your mother after you have been born? From your mouth, when you are feeding, okay, when you are drinking the milk from your mother. From your mouth you are connected to your mother, that is the first guru, that is the birth giver. Okay, second house is your family, the family that is living under the same roof, not the family that is living far away, the family that is living under the same roof. And who are the first family that you will be seeing? Your parents, your siblings, if you have any. Second house, your close siblings, your blood related siblings. If you are talking about cousins and the people who live far away, they will come into other houses. Okay, so just like you are attached to your mother, you are connected to your mother, you learn the art of love from your mother. That is second house. Taurus, comfort, relief, resources. Okay, the money that you have right now, the wealth that you possess, the wealth that will be given to you by your ancestors, by your parents. It could be land, it could be any form of wealth, it could be gold, anything. That can also be seen via second house. The amount of money that you are going to earn in your life, that can also be seen from the second house. The amount of money that you are going to let's say save into your savings account in your bank, that is second house. Okay, have you ever heard that moon gets exalted in the second house? Why? I have taught this in my classes many times. Moon is the energy of saumyata. Saumya का मतलब soft, nurturing, healing, because moon is the lord of fourth house. अब मैंने क्या बताया था? Your first connection to the mother is from the second house when you are feeding on her, breasts, and for the milk from mouth, your lips, second house. Your speech, what kind of voice do you have, that will be determined by the second house, the planets sitting in the second house, the lord of the second house. Just like someone has, let's say, Mars or Sun, some hot-headed planets in the second house, their voice will be very bold. When they will speak, you will listen. Their commanding voice will be heard by many people. They will be good leaders. You will be able to follow them. If someone has, let's say, Ketu, their voice will be very much sharp. They will sound very serious, and you will be compelled by their voice, because whatever they will speak, it will seem very true to you. If someone has Moon, Venus, Mercury, planets like this, like Jupiter, soft voice filled with love, just like that. So second house is your speech, your mouth. Moon, mother. Moon, female, feminine, soft nature. Food. Moon is also your food. Food's energy is determined by moon. So moon is also your food. The food that you eat in the second house. That's why moon gets exalted in the second house. Resources, as I talked about that. Moon is what? Moon is resources in the liquid form, in the physical form, the money that you have in the physical form, the cash, gold, silver. That is moon. That's why moon gets exalted in the second house, in the sign of Taurus. Earth element. Earth, where you get your treasures from. You dig the earth and you find treasures. You find jewels, you find gemstones. Here is Javarat. Moon. And the first guru, the first person that taught you love, even though you have forgotten about it, like if you are, grown up and you have forgotten what true love is, but when you were a baby, you knew what is true love. Like you learned that from your mother. That was the first true love you had. And whenever you feel betrayed in love or relationship or marriage of any kind, your trauma gets triggered because you were loved at that time. That is childhood trauma. That's where the childhood trauma comes, because you were loved when you were a baby. But right now, no one loves you like that. Even your mother will not love you like that, because now you have grown up. You are a full-grown man or a woman. Your mother will tell you, go and work, earn money. You have to be responsible. But still, 90% of mothers will take care of you. 10% are strict when you are grown up. 90% of mother will tell you, okay, come home, I will take care of you. See, that's the love of the mother. So moon gets exalted in the second house. Second house carries the element of earth, right? Resources, family, savings, your voice, speech, everything. Third house, Gemini. Gemini is the earth, not the earth, it's the air element. Gemini is the air element. Gemini Lord, Mercury. Mercury, after moon, Mercury is the planet that is the most affected in any chart. If you're having relationship issues, Mercury. If you're having finance issues, Mercury. If you're having communication issues, Mercury. If you're having, let's say, skin issues or any kind of disease or any kind of, let's say, laziness issue, procrastination, Mercury. People blame Saturn for all of the trouble, but they forget about Mercury. I am able to speak because of my Mercury. If right now Mercury stops blessing me, I won't be able to utter any word, any further word. I will forget about every knowledge that I have. No knowledge will come to my mind. Even if it's in the mind, my tongue will not speak out. Okay, that's Mercury. Mercury, Lord of Gemini, Lord of Virgo, 6th house Lord, 3rd house Lord. 3rd house is your communication, 6th house is your actions that you take, routine that you follow. 3rd house is your hands, Gemini, 3rd house. Forget about the Gemini, 3rd house is your hands. 2nd house was your mouth, 3rd house is your hands. Okay. Hands denote your planning, your scheduling, your expression. People who cannot speak, okay, they use their hands as sign language, as you must know. That is, their 2nd house becomes the 3rd house because they cannot speak from their mouth. So their 2nd house becomes the 3rd house. So they use their hands to use the sign language, right? So Mercury, okay, as I said, it is a very malleable planet. Just after Sun, it is the softest and let's say liquefied planet. Mercury gets melted in the room temperature. When Mercury is affected in a chart, person finds it very difficult to express themselves. Even if they are expressing themselves, they will fear that people will mock them. That's why people with let's say afflicted Mercury gets bullied when they are kid in their school. Also Saturn, people afflicted by Saturn, they also get bullied, but I will cover that in Saturn's time. Okay, not now. Saturn can wait. That's all he can do. So let's talk about the 3rd house. Okay, your hands. 3rd house, very interesting house. This is one of my favorite house. Okay, like people go to 8th house, 12th house for spirituality, but they forget about the 3rd house. When you do yoga, let's say you are doing yoga, meditation, or any kind of kriya practice, people who do kriya, people who do mantra chanting, people who do, let's say, any kind of sadhana, upasana, any kind of practice, your 3rd house is in the action, not the 8th house, not the 12th house, not even the 9th house. Your 3rd house is in the action. If you are doing mantra recitation, your 2nd house and your 3rd house both are in the action. Okay. 3rd house is your subconscious that you can access. Remember, 3rd house is your subconscious mind that you can have access. Okay. The subconscious that you cannot have access to, that is the 12th house. Because only in the dreams that you can dream. When you are sleeping, in the dreams, the 12th house will become activated and you will be able to see those subconscious things, subconscious level things in the dream. That's 12th house. But in the 3rd house, you are daydreaming. Remember here, pay attention. You are daydreaming. Your daydreams become your manifested reality. Not all of them, obviously. Only those that are purified with certain precision and concentration that you have believed yourself to be okay now that you deserve it, that is getting manifested in your real life, in your physical life. That is 3rd house, the action of the 3rd house. Let's say that right now you decide to punch yourself in the face with your own hand. Just do it. Punch yourself. Don't punch yourself hard. That you thought about punching yourself, okay, and you tighten your fist and you punched yourself in the face. You thought, it got manifested. If you did not do it, let's say मैंने बोला और आपने नहीं करा, क्यों नहीं करा? क्योंकि आपने मेरे उस चीज़ पे ज़्यादा फोकस नहीं किया, कॉन्सेंट्रेट नहीं किया, आपने सुना, आपने हंसा, आप भूल गए. बट जिन लोगों ने ऐसे थोड़े से भी किया होगा, you can feel that कि whatever you think, okay, whatever, let's say if you are focusing on something long enough, it has the ability, it gets the potential to get manifested in your real life. That is 3rd house. That is the planting of seed in your mind, that the thought process is coming in your mind now. You are getting ideas, you are getting inspiration, you are putting in the work. That is your hands. As I said, third house is your hand. Whatever you do in your life, you do it with your hands. Right? Third house. Mercury, Lord. Mercury, very important planet in the chart. Very much. You cannot ignore Mercury and go towards Saturn and Ketu and Rahu. But about Mercury in later videos or something like that. Gemini is a sign of groupie, gossip. Gemini people, Gemini sign has this energy to gossip, to know about things, curiosity. These people are very curious. If you have Gemini as ascendant or Gemini moon, you must be very curious. If you have let's say Rahu in Gemini, what you think and what you say about yourself is not true. If you have Rahu in Gemini in any house, you believe yourself to be something else and you act out as something else. And now that you are doing this for a very long time, since you were a kid, it has become your reality. That's why people who have Rahu in Gemini or Rahu in Ardra Nakshatra, their transformational journey is so beautiful because they tremble down so quickly and so deep in pain. But we will talk about that in the later, when I will be talking about Rahu. Gemini people are best in communication, best in presentation, best in all kinds of businesses. Okay? If you are a Gemini and if you are not best in all of these things, that means your Mercury is afflicted, Lord of the Gemini. And that means that you are not accepting your true self. Gemini have two faces. If you are not accepting your true face, the true self, then you are acting out as a fake one in front of people. You are hiding your pain behind your smiles. You are hiding your pain behind your lame jokes. Gemini people have lame jokes, practical jokes, let's say, but they are funny. Even in the lame jokes, you will find funniest of moments. But you are hiding your pain. Why you are hiding your pain? You have to show your pain. You have to show your seriousness with life. That's when your journey will complete. That's when your journey will truly start. Cancer, the fourth house, the Cancer sign. As I've talked about that, like your inner feelings, your emotions, your mother, everything about fourth house, your connection towards your mother, your heart. What is the element here? Water. Water is the element of intuition, reformation, transformation, transmutation, everything. Just like fire, it also has the ability to transmutate. Transmutation means that you are submitting some kind of energy into that element, and that element has the potential or ability to alchemize you into something different from the inside, not from the outside. It does not happen in the physical world, but it happens from the inside. Just like water can turn into ice and ice can turn into air or you say gases. Okay, just like that, your emotions can turn into something else if you want to. Right now, if you're happy, you can become sad by remembering your bad moments in life. If you're sad, you can become happy by remembering good moments of your life, by being grateful. Just like water, you can boil down it, make it gas, or you can just solidify it and make it into ice. Fourth house. Someone having, let's say, Saturn in the fourth house, mother will be strict. If mother is not strict, that means something else is there. But in most cases, mother will be strict if you have Saturn in the fourth house. Okay, so let's say if you have Ketu in the fourth house, regardless of the signs, I'm not talking about the signs here, just fourth house. As I said, Cancer is the natural default setting of the fourth house. If it is sitting somewhere else, let's say if you have a different ascendant, let's say if you have Taurus ascendant, but there is no Cancer in the fourth house, there is some other sign. That doesn't mean that the fourth house has lost all of its privileges of being the Cancer sign. That only means that the default sign of Cancer's energy is there. Okay, you just have a different sign there. So Ketu in the 4th house, you have to leave your home to make a career out of it. You will be attached, you will be taking responsibility too much on your head of your mother and of your home. That's why people with Ketu in the 4th house, they have to abandon their attachment to home and their mother to make something best out of their career. Okay, this is a very tough situation, but you have to do it. 4th house, water sign, Cancer, okay, ruled by our lovely moon. White, Soumya, soft, nurturing, caring, intuitive, healing. The planet associated with healing, moon, Mercury. Also Ketu. Moon, Mercury and Ketu. Ketu's healing is a bit different. Ketu will put a dagger in your heart, put a dagger in your wound, the wounds that you don't even know that exists. And that's when you will pay attention to yourself rather than looking outside in the world into other people. And Mercury will heal by treating someone, medicine, procedures, operation, this kind of thing. That's why Mercury in the 11th house, Mercury in the 6th house, these people have a greater affinity to become a doctor, to become healers. Mercury in the 11th house, you are a healer. Even if you are not a doctor, if you are a lawyer, if you are an engineer, you have the ability to heal people. Your friends find comforting, your friends feel comforted when they are around you, because you have Mercury in the 11th house, Mercury in the 6th house, same thing. Okay, Mercury has the healing ability by providing comfort, by saying some few words, by listening, by expressing, by Reiki healing is also related to Mercury. Mercury is also procedures, operation, medicines, Aushadhi. Moon, emotional healing, comfort, knowing that someone is out there for you. That's why Moon is very much afflicted, because there is no one for you out there. Even your partner, even the person who is living with you for 10 and 15 years, even they can change, okay, anytime, because whenever their karma hits them, whenever their time comes, they will change, and you will think like, how did it happen? Okay, that's why if you want to make your moon stronger, you have to accept your isolation, your loneliness, that you are lonely in this whole world. From the birth till now, you are the only person who is experiencing everything, who is tasting the food, who is wearing, who is experiencing all of the world from your own point of view. Has anyone ever come to your head and they have experienced through your goggles? Tell me. It is mind breaking actually. No, right? You are the person who has feeling the touch, smelling things, tasting food or anything else. You are the person who is looking at world differently. You are the person who is looking at color yellow, red. The other people they are having their own experiences. But have they come to your mind, your head, your brain, and have they ever looked from your lenses? No. That is the thing that I was talking about. To make your moon stronger, you have to accept your isolation, your loneliness, that you are here. You took birth here as a human, and you have to accept all of your emotional trauma and all of these things. They are illusion, they are fake. 4th house. 5th house. 5th house is your punya blessings, past life blessings. Okay. 5th house, Leo. Leo is the leader. Leo is the king, politician, the king who serves, the king who rules, the king who leads, ruled by Sun. Sun is the king. Leo gets his kingly vibe from the planet Sun. Leo is also the fire sign. If you look at something very beautiful, First house, fifth house, and ninth house, they are all fire signs. First house, fifth house, ninth house. This is the triangle, upward triangle, creating a portal to where? To mystical world, to spiritual sky, from where all of the energy is coming from. I am able to talk like this because the energy is coming into my head and I am able to express them, because I have some degree of control over my these three houses. Okay, some degree. Just like that, fifth house is a fire element ruled by sun. Sun is also the portal to divinity, heavens. Okay, just like fire is the portal, yajna, havan, होमा, ये सब कुछ. फिफ्थ हाउस का जो मेन एलिमेंट है आपके फैमिली से रिलेटेड है, एंसेस्टर्स, पुण्य, ब्लेसिंग्स, पुण्य कर्मा, यही सारी चीज़ें, आपके स्किल्स, आपका ग्रेजुएशन, आपका एजुकेशन. आपने ग्रेजुएशन करा है वो फिफ्थ हाउस से दिखेगा. ग्रेजुएशन के बाद पीएचडी कर रहे हो वो नाइन्थ हाउस है. ठीक है, साइंटिस्ट बन रहे हो, रिसर्च कर रहे हो एट्थ हाउस और नाइन्थ हाउस. पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन तक फिफ्थ हाउस, ये टाइम होता है. एजुकेशन, स्किल, मैनेजमेंट करना सीख रहे हो, फिफ्थ से सिक्स्थ जा रहे हो. फिफ्थ में पढ़ाई करा, ग्रेजुएशन करा, मैनेजमेंट सीखना है, अब प्रैक्टिकल करना है, फिफ्थ से सिक्स्थ जा रहे हो. इंटर्नशिप, सिक्स्थ हाउस. इंटर्नशिप कब होता है? जब यू हैव लर्नड एवरीथिंग, यू हैव एट लीस्ट द बेसिक नॉलेज, यू हैव अ डिग्री राइट नाउ. ओके, आपका सेमेस्टर खत्म हो चुका है सारा, एंड नाउ यू आर मूविंग टू द इंटर्नशिप पार्ट. सिक्स्थ हाउस, इंटर्नशिप. सिक्स्थ हाउस में क्या है? काम करना पड़ेगा. सिक्स्थ हाउस, you have to work without money or with less money. Internship. When you have made an identity of yourself, let's say a profession, something like that, 10th house, तब जाके आपको अच्छा खासा पैसा मिलेगा 11th house से. Income. Because now you are identified as someone, you have a title at your job. अभी तो बस intern था 6th house तक. You don't have any income. थोड़ा बहुत होगा ऐसे ही, ताकि आप करो काम मोटिवेशन के लिए. इंटर्नशिप का जो पैसा मिलता है उसका वही मतलब है, मोटिवेशन के लिए आपको दिया जाता है, उसका कोई मीनिंग नहीं है. ठीक है. फिफ्थ हाउस में जो आपने स्किल सीखा, द ऑब्जर्वेशन, द थिंग्स दैट यू हैव अक्यूमुलेटेड इन योर रेज्यूमे, फिफ्थ हाउस से बनता है वो. Person with Saturn in the fifth house, they get delayed education, break in the education, drop out years in the education. People who have their fifth house lord sitting with Ketu, drop out, education break. Sitting with Saturn, same thing. People who have, let's say, Rahu in the fifth house, they have a chance to study a lot of things. बट राहु यहाँ पे फिफ्थ हाउस की चीज़ों को कुछ ज़्यादा ही बढ़ा देता है. सो दे गेट इंटरेस्टेड इन अदर थिंग्स लाइक अफेयर्स, क्रशेस, कैजुअल रिलेशनशिप्स, फ्रेंडशिप्स, अ लॉट ऑफ फ्रेंड्स. बट दोज पीपल हु हैव राहु फिफ्थ हाउस एंड दे कंट्रोल देमसेल्फ नॉट टू फॉल इन लव टू क्विकली, नॉट टू फॉल इन इमोशनली कनेक्टेड टू अदर पीपल, देन those kind of people can actually pursue a higher education. They can even go to abroad. Okay, they can even study in the most elite colleges if you have Rahu in the fifth house and you are not falling in the trap of casual hookups and relationships like that. So Rahu has the ability to make you or break you. As I said, fifth house is your ancestors, Leo. Okay, lions, panthers, tigers, these kind of animals, okay, they have always represented the lineages, the bloodline in the divinity and in the human beings. Okay, Leo, lion, ruled by sun, your ancestral thing. If someone has Pitradosh, the first house will denote Pitradosh, that will be the fifth house. उसके बाद फिर दूसरे हाउसेस से पितृदोष का पता चल सकता है। ठीक है, तो 5th हाउस बिकम्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट हाउस। इट इज ऑल्सो योर सिद्धीज। सिद्धि का मतलब होता है लाइक intuitive powers, some kind of that you have acquired, something special that you have acquired, कि हाँ you have the confidence that whatever you speak it will come true, or whatever you want to know you will get to know, whatever you want will happen. This power comes from the 5th house only when you have done enough meditation or practice or something like that, and now that you have unlocked siddhis will only come to you when you have at least cleared out the basic karmic debt you have of your ancestors. If you have a lot of ancestral debts, no amount of sadhana will ever give you siddhis. That's why there are specific sadhana, there are specific meditation practices, there are specific things to be done before you get into the main sadhana. And like भगवान गणेश का पूजा क्यों करते हैं, वो तो बहुत कहानियां हमने सुनी है कि ऐसे ऐसे, ठीक है, वो भी सच है, अच्छा है, सही है। रीज़न ये है, वर्शिपिंग गणेशा रिमूव्स ब्लॉकेजेस, रिमूव्स हर्डल्स। व्हाट आर द ब्लॉकेजेस? दोज कार्मिक डेट्स, दोज एंसेस्ट्रल कार्मिक डेट्स दैट यू हैव, एवरीवन हैज दैट। वर्शिपिंग गणेशा रिमूव्स देम। गणपति, ओके, गणों के पति, हिज ट्रंक रिप्रेजेंट्स केतु। What is Ketu? Your debts, karmic debts, right? तो उस तरीके से after you have removed certain degree of your debts of an ancestral or any kind of karmic debt, okay, now you are able to attain siddhis, mastery over yourself, and now you are able to do anything that you wish to do. 5th house. After you have won the 5th house, Leo, you come to the 6th house, Virgo, where you are applying your skills, where you are let's say dealing with everyday life, dealing with people, dealing with your job, dealing with your work, whatever you are doing. Where you are waking up early, where you are making yourself a breakfast, you are going to office, you are going to school, whatever you are doing, that is 6th house. And while doing so, you create enemies, you develop disease, mental or physical or emotional of any kind. Even spiritual diseases can be seen by from the 6th house. You develop some kind of debt, whether it's financial debt, ancestral or maybe karmic debt, or something like you have you have lied to someone, that can also create some kind of debt. 6th house, 6 ripus, your 6 enemies that you have to deal on daily basis: greed, lust, okay, and all of the other force, attachment, like these kind of things, right? These are the 6 ripus. Anger, okay, anger, attachment, greed, lust, and there are 2 more. This kind of 6 ripus, this kind of things you develop while you are dealing with your daily life, okay. एलिमेंट इज अर्थ, बट यहां पे मर्क्यूरी है रूलर, ठीक है। सोचो, एलिमेंट अर्थ है, स्टेबिलिटी है, ग्राउंडिंग खोज रहा है, ओके, इट इज सीकिंग द ग्राउंड, द स्टेबल ग्राउंड टू मेक योर सेल्फ मोर रूटेड टू योर वर्क, बट द प्लैनेट इज मर्क्यूरी. Even though Mercury gets exalted in its own sign, in the sign of Virgo, in this 6th house, why? Reason क्या है? Mercury क्यों exalt हो रहा है? मतलब exaltation का मतलब ये होता है कि like the planet is getting all of its strength, like 100% strength from the sign itself, wherever it is getting exalted in the direction, via the direction and via the energy and via the sign. That's what exaltation mean. अब आप कितना strength draw कर पाते हो वो आपके पुरुषार्थ पे डिपेंड करता है, आपकी कैपेसिटीज पे डिपेंड करता है. इसीलिए बहुत लोगों के चार्ट में चीज़ें एग्जॉल्टेड हैं बट फिर भी उनका जो है काम नहीं बन रहा, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट एबल टू विदड्रॉ, एक्सट्रैक्ट दैट काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रेंथ, दे आर वीक. So just like that, the reason why Mercury is getting exalted in its own sign in the 6th house is because the element of the Virgo is earth. अर्थ के एलिमेंट को वर्गो का स्टेबिलिटी करने के लिए, उसको प्रदान करने के लिए, उसको वो देने के लिए, वहाँ पे जो एनर्जी चाहिए उसको डबल करने के लिए, उसको कंपैटिबल करने के लिए, अच्छा करने के लिए, सही तरीके से फंक्शनिंग हो पाए, इसलिए मर्क्यूरी क्या करते हैं, मर्क्यूरी वहीं पे एग्जॉल्ट होते हैं, सो दैट व्हेनेवर यू आर डूइंग योर वर्क यू कैन एक्सट्रैक्ट maximum potential, maximum amount of work, 1% better every day. Have you ever heard about that? That's what it means. Okay, if you are lifting, let's say 5 reps today, you have to do at least 6 tomorrow and stick to it. This increases your potential of 6th house, potential of Mercury. That's why Mercury gets exalted in the 6th house, to give power to the sign, to give power to the house, because it is the element of earth. Obviously Mercury is not going to be eligible, compatible and comfortable in the earth element. Why would it be? Mercury is not the planet who gets comfortable in earth, neither it gets comfortable in the water. वाटर में मरकरी डूब जाता है, रेडियो इन द वाटर, रेडियो आपका बंद हो जाएगा, चलेगा ही नहीं. आप पानी में बोल सकते हो, कैन यू स्पीक अंडर वाटर? नो, योर वॉइस विल नॉट कम आउट, बुलबुले छूटेंगे बस. ठीक है, जस्ट लाइक दैट मर्क्यूरी फाइंड्स इट्स कंपैटिबिलिटी ओनली इन द एयर एलिमेंट. फायर एलिमेंट में भी है, फायर एलिमेंट में भी मर्क्यूरी की कंपैटिबिलिटी है, बट वहां पे इशू क्या है कि मर्क्यूरी तो रूम टेम्परेचर पे मेल्ट हो रहा है, तो फायर एलिमेंट में जाकर के तो फिर वहां पे वो इवेपोरेट हो जाएगा. So just like that, Mercury only gets its strength and compatibility in the sign of in the element of air. ठीक है, क्योंकि वहीं पे Mercury को सबसे अच्छा मिलता है मीडियम. But in the sign of let's say water, earth or fire, it is not that much of compatible. Fire में Mercury ठीक है, but वो उन लोगों के लिए, the people who are very career driven by force, a divine force. ठीक है, people who are sadhakas or meditator, like people who are doing meditation for a very long time, who can control their energy, their senses, those kind of people. Okay, so Mercury in the 6th house इसीलिए exalt होता है, ताकि वो अपने वाटर में और फायर में और अर्थ में, इन तीनों में Mercury is best compatible in the earth. ठीक है, वाटर, फायर और अर्थ मिला करके अगर देखा जाए तो ऑप्शंस में सबसे बेस्ट तो वो एयर में है, वो अलग बात है. ठीक है, यू विल आस्क कि जेमिनाई में एग्जॉल्ट क्यों नहीं हुआ मर्क्यूरी? जेमिनाई में हो सकता था ना, एयर एलिमेंट है. एक्वेरियस में हो सकता है, एयर एलिमेंट है. लिब्रा में हो सकता है, एयर एलिमेंट है. व्हाई नॉट? रीजन बता देता हूं. 3rd हाउस में इसलिए नहीं हुआ क्योंकि अगर 3rd हाउस में होता तो 6th हाउस में फिर वो कैसे एनर्जी दे पाता? 3rd हाउस में होने की जरूरत है ही नहीं उसको एग्जॉल्ट. ठीक है, क्योंकि 6th हाउस में एग्जॉल्ट होकर के वो 3rd हाउस को बैलेंस कर देता है. 7th हाउस में एग्जॉल्ट इसलिए नहीं हुआ क्योंकि 7th हाउस में मर्क्यूरी या तो मैरिज को बिगाड़ेगा या तो करियर को बिगाड़ेगा. वहां पे वो हीटेड चीजों को नहीं सह सकता, भले ही एयर एलिमेंट है 7th हाउस में. Mercury is not well under pressure. तो 7th हाउस आपका बिजनेस, आपका काम भी है, आपका लोगों के साथ कनेक्शन भी, और आपके मैरिज लाइफ भी है. दोनों का आपको संभाल के चलना पड़ता है, कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना पड़ता है. दैट्स वाई देयर इज सैटर्न, जो प्रेशर झेल पाए शादी का और काम का और बाकी सारे लाइफ के चक्करों का, सैटर्न ही है वहाँ पे जो एग्जॉल्टेड होते हैं इन द साइन ऑफ लिब्रा. एक्वेरियस में क्यों नहीं हुआ मर्क्यूरी एग्जॉल्ट? 11th हाउस है ना, वहाँ पे आप लोगों से मिल रहे हो, कनेक्शन बन रहे. लाइक 11th हाउस इज योर हेड, लेट्स से एक तरीके से टॉप ऑफ द हेड. आपके बाल वहाँ पे जा रहे हैं, जो एकदम आपका सरफेस लेवल बन रहा है, दैट इज 11th हाउस. वहाँ पे मर्क्यूरी जाएगा, पीपल विल टच यू एंड दे विल टच योर मर्क्यूरी, यू विल गेट annoyed. Just try to understand the feeling, the energy, what I'm trying to say, trying to express here. So in the 11th house मर्क्यूरी वहाँ पे आपको जा करके हीलर बना देगा, तो यू विल बी ऑलवेज ट्राइंग टू हेल्प अदर पीपल. अगर एग्जॉल्ट हो जाता है तो ऑन द एक्सपेंस ऑफ योर एनर्जी. इसीलिए द बेस्ट प्लेस फॉर मर्क्यूरी टू गेट एग्जॉल्टेड वाज इन द 6th हाउस, क्योंकि उसके पास कोई चारा भी नहीं था. it has to give some kind of energy to the earth element also, ताकि 6th हाउस आपका बैलेंस हो सके। इसीलिए most of the remedies that are formed around this planet Mercury। ठीक है, आप चाहे मंत्र रिसाइट करो, स्तोत्र का पाठ करो, भगवान की पूजा करो, सब मर्क्यूरी के ही आसपास है, इर्द गिर्द है। क्योंकि जो भी प्रॉब्लम आपको स्टार्ट होता है, दे ऑल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम दी 6th हाउस। एवरी प्रॉब्लम दैट यू हैव, द रूट कॉज इज द 6th हाउस। कहीं ना कहीं से आप कैलकुलेट करोगे तो इशू दिख जाएगा, regardless of sign and planet sitting in your chart. So that is it. In the next video I am going to tell you about from Libra to the Pisces. अभी के लिए Aries से Virgo तक काफ़ी है। Okay, well, see you in the other video.